Shri Arunachala Ramanaya.
ब्रह्मैवाहमिदं जगच्च सकलं चिन्मात्रविस्तारितं सर्वं चैतदविद्यया त्रिगुणया अशेषं मया कल्पितम् इत्थं यस्य दृढामतिः सुखतरे इते परे निर्मले चाण्डालोऽस्तु सद्विजोऽस्तु गुरुरित् येषां मनीषा मम. One who has the direct conviction, firm conviction, entire universe is consciousness only, and the whole world is a projection of this mind consisting of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, and that one himself is Brahman or consciousness itself. He is my guru, whether he is a Brahmana or a sweeper. This is again the second shloka of Manisha Panchakam, continuation from the previous day.
Thank you. When we hear something like this, don't keep it at intellectual understanding. Take those words as your own reality, your own truth. Then it does the magic. Then it will take you to the source. Yesterday I was speaking to Mr. Bhaskaran from Tirunamalai, and he also chants Vedas, and he was talking about how Tamil language has taken words from Sanskrit because both are ancient languages. He says when you chant in Sanskrit, and because he is also doing for so long, he says it does a magic. It just brings you to the source. But it can only bring you to the source if you listen with faith in that pure silence and allow it to do its magic. But if you stand as a barrier with strong mind and intellect, critical of everything, then nothing goes in. So for a seeker, there should be some openness, some faith. Faith is very important. Mind keeps us at the edge. It keeps us as the person who is always nagging, who is always skeptical, who is full of doubts. As in our body, in autonomic nervous system, we have two types of working modes: parasympathetic system and sympathetic system. Parasympathetic system is rest and relax from vagal tone, and the other one is adrenergic sympathetic system, which is fight and flight. If I can give you a comparison, this person mode, ego mode, is like sympathetic system, fight or flight, always on its toes, looking for something, judging, liking, disliking, always active mind. And that pure presence is like parasympathetic, rest and relax. It's not a lazy mode, it is a relaxed mode. Whole world talks about stress reduction clinics, doing mindfulness, picking up hobbies, exercise to relax your mind. The best relaxation, eternal relaxation, is to move from this position of ego-mind complex and always abide in that pure presence, where nothing is happening. All your complaints are happening when you act from the ego mode. Whatsoever you do, you practice, whatever, you can improve your situation there, but you cannot get rid of your restlessness. It is like your house is on a busy street. You can put double glazing windows, you can close all the doors, but still some sound will come. And time to time there will be more noise. But if you move your house to forest, there will be no sound. So this inner forest of wisdom is that pure presence. If you understand this truth and work on it, it will happen to you. It has happened to everyone who has tried. The best seeker is the one who has faith and who continues on this path in spite of failures. For all of us, it is easy to find fault in others. That is the job of ego. It always finds faults in others. But the moment this mind, which is always projecting in issues around, looks within, it can find solace in this new found presence. Though presence is always there, but we have mixed it with this body, with this mind. All these thoughts coming to the mind disturb us because we have ownership of it. Recognize your true self. That true self can only claim emptiness or silence. It cannot claim any of the sense organs, even intellect or mind. No form. Name given to the body is not the name of what we are. If you have difficulty in knowing what this pure awareness is, then you can take up any practice like self-inquiry. But if you are mature enough, then knowing what is being said is enough. Don't try to understand Mahavakyas through your mind. They are like direct instructions. Just obey it. Just be. Those mature seekers once heard and liberated immediately. all disciplines, all practices only ripens us, makes us mature. There is a very simple test to gauge your maturity. Sit for an hour in solitude, and whatever thought comes in that hour, reject them as they are not yours, they are just noise. And then see how much attraction or repulsion those thoughts have for on you, how much you are involved. It's a very simple, easy test. This will show you where you are standing right now in your journey. Are you filled with pure silence and then thoughts sprout which have no meaning for you? Or you are completely drowned in thoughts and running for things and beings? When we get these thoughts, all thoughts arise on the base of silence. If your focus is on silence, you will only know silence. And thoughts are like distant noises, no effect on you. I know people who say when they sit in solitude, they get more restless because now they know all sorts of thoughts coming to them. So they keep themselves busy in doing one thing or the other. And if you ask them why, how do they decide what to do? And then they say, these thoughts tell me to do this and that. This is the slavery of mind, nothing else. Bhagavan's teachings are so clear and pure and to the point. all actions are bondage. Actions are necessary in life, but they are not the cause of your liberation. You stay where you are, where you should be, and allow the body to act. So, most important thing is to find your right place from where you operate. If you don't know whether you have reached there or not, then biggest test of that place is where you never rejoice for achievements or feel sorrow for failures, where you never feel proud of any achievements or feel bad if things have not gone the way they were planned in this destiny of body. Where thoughts still come, but they have no grip on you. Some people think there will be a time when there will be no thought. Even Bhagavan, every jnani gets thoughts, but not like the one who is drowned in thoughts. If you ask me, ego itself is a thought only, it's an illusion. It is just a wrong belief. And to create that belief in you, all this illusory thing has been created. A body and a separate word and a mind which is conditioned, an intellect supporting it, and a situation. And then this Leela, this divine play you can call, plays. And then there are very intelligent people in this world. Professors, intellectuals, Nobel laureates, big achievers, billionaires, politicians, bureaucrats. But who is the smartest of all? This Maya, this illusion. It has drowned everyone without exception. People who think they are the smartest are the drowned most. They are at the bottom level of it. People have their own concepts over concepts. They have created their own belief system. And they live in their own bubble. how to get out of this Maya. What support do you need to be awakened? For anything whatever we have learned in life, we have a teacher for that. And the teacher should know, then only he can teach you. So the that liberated teacher is the self in all of us. And he will teach us when we go close to him. When we are interested in him. When we sit at his feet. All practice is to sit at the feet of self, surrendering everything, accepting things as they are, not putting your energy in arguing and all those sorts of things. And if you sit at the feet of self, with complete surrender and devotion, then you realize you are that self. So the one who was thinking he is trapped disappears. It is like the same caterpillar becomes butterfly. There are not two. This is only a abhas. It is just you feel like that. So bondage is also just a feeling when you work at the level of ego. When you understand and contemplate and are free from this egoistic life, then you laugh on all these years you were trapped. Because what practice could have liberated you? I call it notional correction. You correct the way you perceive things. When you have corrected this error, whatever it was always there, as you only. If you're putting a glass, you're watching the whole world by a glass in which everything looks upside down or colored. You just have to take out those glasses. Then everything is actually right. So these colored glasses are of mind only. If you keep using them, keep looking the world, keep projecting outward, you can never know the true self. Because it is not outward, it is before that. Only thing it needs is your interest. All the people who have explored this world, Vasco da Gama or Columbus, or people who went on ships to explore the world, they left their home and went out and they found it. Sitting at home, you cannot find these places. Same thing happens in spirituality. But the journey is exactly opposite. You go within because it is within you. When you contemplate, you will get it. But talking at mind level is useless. You have to do that hard bit. Be at this feet of self. When you surrender your mind at the feet of self, when you stop operating from the ego, then higher power takes over. In reality, that higher power is only operating in everything. Because of illusory nature, we think we are operating at ego level. We have created our own small world, conditioned world, limited world. Finite, impermanent, transient. This is our own creation because of that illusion. You give up your ownership for that small part, then everything is yours. Then you become that infinite awareness. See, human beings have created states, countries, continents, There are boundaries, barbed wires, or they have created boundaries, armies on both sides. And human beings cannot cross those boundaries. But all the birds can, animals can. They are free. Same exactly is at the level of self. They are all in the power of that absolute, except human being. And human beings should be more free than these birds. And this is our self-created jail, this bondage of ego. When we are interested in this pure silence, it does all internal cleansing. You don't have to give up anger or greed or fear or jealousy. You move to a different plane, different level of operation. You get out of dualities of things. Even here, you don't know what is ignorance and what is knowledge. Nothing to compare. At the level of mind, everything is polarity, duality is there. Employees look towards their employer, their boss. Today he's not in a good mood. Today he's in a bad mood or whatever. Can I ask about my salary rise? What is this? This always happens at mind level. People can be bipolar, manic or depressed. To some extent, all human beings goes through some agitation, some joy. It keeps changing. Sometimes there is no reason to be unhappy. When you look within, this silence which is all pervading, takes over everything. And it is not dependent on whether you're waking, sleeping, or dreaming. All those are domains of the mind. This stays as it is always. In your waking state of this mind, pay attention to it. Allow your ego to dissolve in this pure silence of awareness. When this silence is recognized, then all thoughts become so distant and faint. They lose their effect. Their effect on you is still you work at level of ego, conditioned small self. Moment you surrender your individuality to this silence, this awareness, you become one with that. Now you're out of reach of all mind games. Maya is playing a trick, but you are out of it. You know, when a magician shows a magic and you know the trick, then he cannot fool you, but is still playing the trick and people are getting fooled and you are just watching the show, unaffected. But someone comes to you and asks, what is this? Then you can explain because you know. Now it is about the person who is inquisitive, whether he understands it or not. All our preparations are before knowing it. Once known, nothing needs to be done to keep it there. Here I would like to answer one question, very pertinent question. I get so many emails and I talk to so many people who tell me that sometimes they are as pure self and then they get dragged into ego and then they suffer and then come back again and it continues. I would say if it continues like a pendulum, you are always in ego. You just think that you are free and then mind says now you are again in trap. This to and fro is happening only in mind. This is the game mind plays. It doesn't torture you all the time. That's why when people have suffering, then they look into spirituality. And when the things are settled in their life, then they are again lost in illusion. So sometimes suffering is blessing. If you think liberation is your ultimate goal. Even the most egoistic person gets some rest of mind every day. And I'll tell you, even though the thoughts coming all the time, we don't mind thoughts which are nicer. We only want to get rid of the nastier thoughts which wakes up at middle of the night or creates anger or jealousy or unhappiness. A lot of people on path of spirituality only want to adjust themselves at ego level and feel some happiness and no unhappiness. That's all. They don't mind whether they are in ego mode or presence. They just want a happy life. If majority of the time it is happy, they are happy. But liberation is completely a different ballgame. It has nothing to do with your transient happiness or accumulation of wealth or name or fame or body which is disease free or the mind which is a bit settled. So everyone should contemplate within themselves that what they are looking for. What is their aim? Write down on a piece of paper what you want out of all this drama. I call it drama of spirituality. If you're coming and going and you are in trap and sometimes you're out and then what is your aim in this? You don't have to do anything to be liberated. This looks funny, but that is the truth. But to get yourself in this trap, you have to do so many things. You have to continue with one stupid action after other to stay in this trap. And to be out of trap, no action, only stillness. all doership is a trap. Our liberation is now and here at this very moment. Abide in your pure silence. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.